Today we're going to talk about ethos, pathos, and logos. During Aristotle's time, he came up with these three forms of rhetoric to persuade others to believe in his, or in our case, your opinion. So through the use of ethos, pathos, and logos, we will have a strong argument to present. Let's look at how these are used in writing, in speech, and in advertisement. Ethos. Ethos ties into credibility, the Greek word for character used to gain credibility in writing and also in speaking and in advertising. In speech, you gain credibility in many ways. For example, picture being on the jury of a case, and there's two lawyers who go up to fight that their side is correct. One lawyer is dressed in wrinkle-free, clean business attire, and they're well-groomed. The other lawyer has on wrinkled clothes, hair is a mess, and just doesn't look well put together. Studies have been done that show that lawyer A, who is neat and clean and organized, has already gained credibility just by presentation. Job interviews. When interviewing someone for a job, the number one thing they see is how someone presents themselves. That ties into looking capable of handling the job, looking fit for the job in whatever way that might be. That is the first way we gain credibility. Now, obviously, as soon as both lawyers open their mouths and start fighting for the case, if the lawyer who looks sloppier has stronger points, they're going to gain that credibility. In writing, we don't quite have that ability to have a presentation with ourselves. We can't look neat, clean, and organized when we're submitting a paper. We can't have body language or smiling to help us either. So our credibility in writing comes from our sources being credible, but also from the presentation of our paper. Is it broken up into paragraphs? Are the sentences complete? Is it grammatically correct? Or are we seeing random number twos representing the word to in it? Are we seeing run-on sentences? Are we seeing paragraphs with 2 sentences followed by another paragraph with 18 sentences? These are things that cause you as a writer to start to lose credibility before your paper's even read. Advertising for ethos, well, that connects right to the credibility of getting an expert in the field. So if you're Colgate toothpaste and you have the ability to say 9 out of 10 dentists recommend Colgate toothpaste, then you're gaining the credibility of the expert, the dentist. If they recommend it, it must be good. The next one is pathos. This ties into connecting to the emotions of others. So you want to, in some way, stimulate the emotions of someone else, whether it's through developing empathy, shock value, tying it into the senses, any of those work. So let's take speech. Let's take the politician who tells you about Marge. He's up there for health reform. And rather than listing a bunch of statistics and facts, he's going to tell you about a woman named Marge who he met yesterday, and she just lost her job. She's a single mom. She lost her health care when she lost her job, and she now cannot afford to buy medication for her child. That politician just made everyone listening feel bad for this one person. However, if you vote for this politician, he's going to take care of Marge and all the other Marges out there and make life better for them. So now he has caused a majority of listeners to develop empathy for Marge and want to help her. How can they help her? By voting for him. In writing, we can do that as well. We can put in a little anecdote or a short story about a situation like Marge. Or let's say that we're trying to persuade you to help homeless animals. Maybe you describe the sad eyes and the cold nights and the loneliness that a certain dog has felt for months because it doesn't have a home. Something like that would develop empathy of your readers to want to go adopt a dog. You can do this very often right in your hook. Draw your readers right in and then talk about your subject, or you can even write about it in your actual paper. In advertising, all sorts of images that shock, images like the sad dog, images like a cheeseburger. That ties into your senses. If you see a cheeseburger with melted cheese and lettuce, it may make people then want to go purchase one and eat one. The last one is logic, which is logos. This is going to be all your stats and your statistics and your facts, your evidence, your argumentation. In writing, this is what we use the most. We're very used to citing and putting in a quote from a researcher, putting in a statistic, a percentage. And it's very important as well. It's probably the most important in persuading. So in speech, again, they're tying into the logic, the facts, the arguments, and the evidence. They present them. I'm trying to get you to stop eating fast food, and I tell you that fast food causes people to gain 6 pounds a year on average. Or fast food consumption has grown 500% in the last 15 years. Anything like that works. Same thing in writing. You're still using these facts and statistics and sources. Speech and writing are going to be very much the same. In advertising, it would be mascara, and they show you a mascara and they say 94% of users have had thicker, fuller lashes, which makes listeners say, oh wow, if that worked for 94% of people, that's a lot. It'll probably work for me too, so I'm going to try it. That's how we tie logos into our argument. So anytime that you're sitting down to write a persuasive speech, a persuasive paper, or trying to create some kind of movie review or advertisement for something, you want to think and consider your ethos, pathos, and logos, and make sure you're touching on each of those throughout your assignment. Thanks, everyone.